writing court filings.
Hi everyone. I know everyone wants to ask a question, so I'll try my best to get all of you in order, okay? On-topic questions first. Does anyone have any off-topic? Okay, then I'll do you at the end. All right, cool. Yes, Telemundo.
Governor, thank you for being here. And have you considered to declare a state of emergency as other states are doing because of the funds of the SNAP are going to finish November the 1st?
Sure, we're looking at all the options that that are available, and state of emergency certainly on the table. I think right now there's litigation, and we're hopeful for the litigation to actually resolve this. But I will reiterate this over and over again. The president could end this right now. There are contingency funds specifically for this purpose, and he should release those funds so that people aren't hungry. Instead, he's choosing to politicize hungry people and use them as leverage.
Well, Governor, let me ask you a question. It would seem to me that the Democratic senators could solve this by signing the CR and then agreeing to negotiate the use of the CA.
This is the president's decision and the president's decision alone. These contingency funds exist for this purpose, and there's never been a government shutdown where the president has said, no, we're not going to feed hungry people who rely on this funding to not go hungry. And this is his choice, and he could end this right now. He doesn't need the Senate. He doesn't need the Congress.
But are the Democrats in any way involved?
I'm not going to get into the politics in Washington. This is the president's choice. The president made this choice, and he could end it right now. And people who are hungry are relying on his leadership to not go hungry.
Any other one question?
I think the people who are in the line here next to us are sick of politics. They
Yeah,
don't want politics to be the reason they're left hungry.
I agree
What is
with
your
you.
message to them?
I agree with you. The president could end this right now. I mean, we have limited options and limited action we can take in the state. We're continuing to look at everything available to us. We allocated $1.8 million to provide emergency assistance. I know it's not enough. We're asking Arizonans to show up for their community like they always do. I know that's not enough. The president could end this right now. And most people don't live their lives thinking about the politics of all of this. They're hungry, and the government can provide the relief that they need.
Governor, what's the real impact of this? We're talking about real people. We're talking about millions of people in our state.
Yeah.
They rely on SNAP. What is the real impact of this?
Well, come November 1st, when their benefits should be reloaded, if the president doesn't choose to resolve this, then or the court doesn't, then they won't have those benefits, and it's going to hurt them when they show up at the grocery store and aren't able to buy food for the table. So, yeah.
The 1.8 million, how long is that expected to last? And when did you, last week you said the state didn't have the money to backfill. When did you realize you could use ARPA funds for this?
Well, let me be clear. This 1.8 million is not backfilling. $150 million a month are expended in SNAP benefits. So this is a drop in the bucket. It's not going directly to consumers except for the $300,000 in the Food Bucks Now program. But it's temporary emergency assistance, and it's meant to support these food banks, which have already been stretched to the limit, and we know are going to see increased need come November 1st.
Okay, we say y'all.
When it comes to $30, per person, what does that mean? Is it a week? Is it daily?
Can you talk? Can you talk more?
One-time vouchers. They're one-time vouchers for use at farmers markets, farm stands, and grocery stores that participate in Double Up food funds.
Yeah. So the Double Up program stretches the dollars a little bit more than the grocery store, but it's a one-time voucher.
Say y'all over here. Say y'all over here.
This is for
Say y'all over here.
Can you talk about how much more money the state of Arizona is able to direct? You talked about the 1.8 billion. How is that million? How is it dropped in the bucket?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we have available right now, and I'm hopeful that we don't have to continue this conversation and find more change in the couch cushions. All options are on the table, but the president, again, could end this right now if he chose to free up these funds that are designed for this purpose. The government has never shut down and left people hungry like they're choosing to do right now.
How much more change is there in the couch cushions?
I don't know the answer to that.
What about other options that have been floated by members of the legislature and Attorney General Hobbs? The rainy day fund, pulling in the National Guard.
So the rainy day fund, again, everything is on the table. However, the rainy day fund is for a recession, and it's not going to last very long in this situation. And we need Republican support. So far, the Republicans in the legislature have said no.
What do you think about calls? I'm sure you heard from the Attorney General about a special session. Again,
the Republicans in the legislature have said no. They're not willing to address this. And the last time I checked, they were in the majority, and we would need their votes.
Anyone over here?
For special session specifically, when was the last time that you chatted with Republican legislators?
We've been in conversation throughout this crisis in terms of what impacts we're going to see as a state, not just with SNAP, but other benefits that are ending, and the harm that we're going to see across the state.
And they've just said that they're not interested in a special session?
Yeah.
Governor, have you had any conversations with Senator Kelly or Gallego about reopening the government?
Our staff is in regular communication with their office.
And what is your message to them?
Well, the harm and chaos that's being brought on Arizonans because of this government shutdown is very damaging. And most people, back to the political question, they don't live their lives thinking about politics, and they don't want to be used as political leverage. And that's what's happening right now. The chaos in Washington needs to end. Arizonans need these programs and benefits, but specifically when it comes to SNAP, the president does not need the Senate. He does not need Congress. He can end this today, right now.
Governor, just to clarify, you have more than 800,000 people on SNAP, but you're going to be distributing 10,000 vouchers of $30. How are you going to be distributing those vouchers?
It'll be done through SNAP. I don't, if there's specifics.
Folks in this line want to go to a farmer's market next week. They'll be able to go to the farmer's markets through the Double Up Food Bucks network to go access these vouchers, even if they have limited funds on their EBT card. They can just show it at the farmer's market as they would for Double Up.
Is this first come, first served?
Yeah.
Governor over here.
Governor, shifting topics just for a second. We're hearing concerns about the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority looking at a possible budget crunch next session. They're worried that funds are going to get swept again right now, just as they're looking to finally use a lot of that funding for some big ticket projects. Are you willing to sweep that money, or are you committed to keeping it with them for those projects?
I'm not willing to talk about budget specifics right now. It's early, and we're still formulating our budget.
Any more on topic questions, Manuelita?
Yes. So, Governor, with DES and SNAP, and not able to add more staff, does this put Arizona's welfare system at risk?
I mean, we're seeing across the board attacks from Washington on the safety net programs that so many Arizonans rely on. This is just one more huge, glaring example of that. And I think it doesn't seem to show concern about the most vulnerable Arizonans, and I'm concerned about that. You know, this president has said over and over again that he won an election because costs were too high, and he's not doing anything to change that or make it better. And this is just one more example of that.
And then thinking about that, you know, with DES and unemployment, staff cuts because of federal cuts, you know, people are losing their homes.
Yes.
They're not able to get aid. Is there a way? Why isn't there a way for you to move staff around in DES to get these people?
We are looking at every option to address this situation and make sure that people are able to get the benefits they're entitled to. And it's the directive from me is get this addressed. There, just because of the lack of staff, there continues to be a backlog, and we want to find a way to not just address the backlog and have the backlog keep happening, but you know, cut this off so that it doesn't continue to backlog.
Alex?
Governor, beyond the government, how do you expect Arizonans to show up for the community?
Well, programs like St. Mary's rely much more on community support than on government support, and they have gone, as long as they have, primarily on volunteers showing up. Here at this center, they rely on 100 volunteers a day, and obviously donations. And so people who can help, I know that Arizonans are already stepping up because we're heading into the holiday season, and this government shutdown is going to require that even more.
Governor, you said that the president can use the contingency think the likelihood that Ms. Mays' lawsuit is going to be successful? It's being heard in Massachusetts today.
I mean, I let's wait and see how that plays out. I can't imagine. We've never let people go hungry during a government shutdown, and I hope we don't see that precedent right now, whether it comes from the president or from the courts.
At this point, we're also seeing businesses step up.
Yeah.
They're admitting that it's going to mean losing money for them to be able to help community members.
Yep.
You have the program with the market, and our farmers going to be losing money perhaps there. I mean, what is happening in Arizona right now where community members are having to step up to help in this deficit?
Yeah, I mean, we're hearing from every retailer that some of their business comes from SNAP beneficiaries. That's going to hurt their bottom line, and so we're doing what we can to help. The temporary voucher is going to help that, but it's certainly not going to fill that gap that producers are going to see.
Say y'all right here, and then I'll come to you.
What funding streams can Arizona tap other than ARPA?
That's ARPA is the only thing we have right now, and I don't know how much else is available. I think we did what we could right now. We'll certainly continue looking at every option, but right now that's what we have.
Cronkite?
So in a press conference on Tuesday, Attorney General Ms. Mays said that she would be willing to move away the National Guard from things. Do you agree with that position?
We'll do whatever we can to provide the support that these community organizations that are stepping up to fill this need need. Right now, that hasn't been expressed as a need, and so it's certainly on the table if that arises.
KJCC first.
Hey, another topic. The Washington Post is reporting that the National Guard is going to develop a civil disobedience unit. It's going to be based in Arizona and Alabama. Have you heard about this, and do you have a reaction to it?
We have received that information. We're still looking at what this means in Arizona, and I've had conversations with the TAG about it.
Any concerns about what this might mean?
Over there first.
Governor, I missed the first part about a state of emergency. Did you say that's a possibility, and what would that look like?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, if state of emergencies are very specifically to free up funds, and if there's not funds available, it's not going to serve a purpose. And so certainly all the options we have available to mitigate this crisis are on the table. But I couldn't tell you what that looks like right now because I don't know.
ABC 15.
Sorry, one more. When shutdown ends, would benefits start immediately, or would there be a lag? Do you know?
It doesn't even matter. The shutdown doesn't even have to end. The president has these funds at his disposal, and he could free them up right now.
We have two more questions. ABC 15 and Univision will be the last.
Governor, the rainy day fund has $1.6 billion in it. You said that the president can solve this. Republicans in the state legislature say Democratic senators can solve this. People who are going hungry don't really care about who's to blame.
Yeah.
They just want a solution. What can you do then, knowing that we have $1.6 billion in the rainy day fund and we're not willing to release that money to help?
I agree that it doesn't matter who's to blame and that people who are hungry need a solution right now. And I have said that everything is on the table, including looking at rainy day funds in this situation. But we need Republican support in the legislature to do that. And right now that's been clearly said is not an option.
Last question, Univision.
Mine's also on topic. What message do you have for Martin at an event not being sworn in?
She is a duly elected member of Congress. She should be sworn in. This is a district that has gone without representation for the better part of the year. Her constituents deserve her voice in Congress, and the speaker needs to stop playing political games and perform his duty and swear her in.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.
Thank you. You lost your yellow vest.